Hi, I'm Tracy Sofra and welcome to the Women of Wealth podcast, dedicated to helping women achieve financial independence and thrive in every area of her life. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 steps to improve your relationship with money. Recently, well, actually not so recently, I think it's been about 6 months now, but I was on a family holiday with my sisters, and I tell you what, I realised how different our relationship money was. Now, we're sisters, right? So, you know, I always talk about money mindset. I talk about where we come from money. And obviously, we all came from the same family, the same parents, the same experience back then. And what has changed from then till now? There's a big age gap between my eldest sister and myself. There's 14 years difference, and my other sister is only 2 years older than me. So there's a very difference in the age gap, but obviously we all come from the same financial DNA. We all come from the same family, and you all know when I speak about we lived from paycheck to paycheck. I wasn't taught to save or invest, didn't even know the word investment, what that meant. But our lives went in different directions. We went off into different careers. We married different people. We've had different life experiences. And all of that has shaped and moulded our current relationship with money. But you know what they say, you don't know someone until you either live with them or take a holiday with them. And, you know, I know my sisters and I love them to bits, but this money issue came up time and time again in this recent holiday. And it got me thinking about their belief around money and where they went and how they felt. And each time I would obviously, what I'm trying to say here is my relationship with money is really, really positive simply because of the path that my life took. I ended up in a profession that understands money. I ended up marrying a man that comes from a business background and understands money. So my world has done a complete 360 when it comes to understanding money, managing money, my personal relationship with money. I am always abundantly aware of where I come from when it comes to money, but I'm also aware about how liberated I am now when it comes to making decisions around money. And I realised that my sisters, they had a totally different relationship with money compared to myself, and they let their limiting beliefs around money affect where they went and what they did and how far they opened themselves up and allowed that holiday or how they experienced that holiday. And it was really, really interesting to observe. So I thought, let me talk about, and let me share some steps on improving your relationship with money, because improving your relationship with money can absolutely influence almost every part of your life, whether you've noticed it or not. And most times we don't notice it. It's in the subconscious mind because it's these limiting beliefs that we just say, it's almost like shutting it down. I remember saying, let's go and do this. And one of my sisters said, no, you can't do that. And I said, well, why can't we do that? Well, it just costs too much money. And so there was the block, right? It costs too much money. You can't do that. Instead of saying you can't do that, it costs too much money, how about saying, how can we do that? How can I do that? How can I get around that? So these limiting beliefs, whether you're aware of it or not, I know my sisters weren't aware of it, but I was acutely aware of it because it was there in my face. So whether you've noticed it or not, you've already built a relationship with money. And this relationship with money has influenced your career choices, created certain spending habits, and even influenced where you ate for dinner. 100%. Again, I can't afford that. I don't have that sort of money. And this is the speaking that is going on behind the scenes. And this is why a healthy relationship with money is important, as it positively impacts your interactions with money. And having a healthy relationship with money means that you're going to be using your money to help maintain good health, live a life with less stress, and invest in things that will support you long term. So with that being said, I'm going to share some ideas with you to improve your relationship with money. And the first idea I'm going to share with you is to take an honest look at your current relationship. Really take an honest look. So the first step is to really honestly assess, no judgment here, of your current relationship with money. Remember that no matter where your relationship is, it doesn't make you a good or bad person. There's no judgment here. It's not about the person you are. It's simply your current relationship with money. So let's look at your attitude towards money by using the following examples. This is a bit of fun I thought I'd throw in. Which one of these do you identify with? I thought I'd throw in some movie headings. So The Devil Wears Prada. And I'm going to share a few others, so bear with me here. So you like fashionable items, but often the devil inside you means you spend more than you can afford. Are you The Devil Wears Prada? Or are you Under the Tuscan Sun, one of my favourite movies? Money is just a means to an end to fulfil your life's desires and dreams. Is that how you feel? Your current relationship with money? Or are you a breakfast at Tiffany's girl? You can live frugally but still appreciate the good things in life? Or are you gone with the wind? Or should I say your money's gone with the wind? Are you gone with the wind? You're a traditionalist when it comes to money, preferring the male to take the financial decisions on your behalf. Or are you the movie Friends with Money? Your friends always seem to have more money than you. Which one of those do you identify with? Devil Wears Prada, Under the Tuscan Sun, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Gone with the Wind, or Friends with Money? So to understand your relationship, what you got to do is you got to ask yourself the following questions, which are, what are my thoughts about money? Are they positive or negative? And how have I made progress with money over the last year? Now, I've just rattled these off, right? But ideally what you want to be doing is sitting in a quiet space, pen to paper. It's always great, pen to paper. It's much better than using an electronic device because it's like a detox session. It's like it's kind of like releasing something within you. It's quite tactile and I think it's a great. It works for me. Trust me. Pen to paper and it just let it out. Unedited, no one's looking at this. It's simply for you asking these questions. What are my thoughts about money? And write that down and sit with it and have that awkward silence with yourself. It's okay. And see what comes out. Just write it. Don't edit it. It doesn't really matter. Just let it all come out. Second question, are they positive or negative? Write it down as it comes. And how have I made progress with money over the last year? If you get stuck with any of them, leave that pen and paper somewhere safe, somewhere where, don't pack it away because you'll forget about it. Leave it somewhere safe and on a bench somewhere where you can come back to it and you can look at it, digest it and come back. But make sure you do that. Make sure that you do yourself a favour by answering those questions. You'd be surprised what comes out. Second idea I want to share with you is I want you to identify how you want your new relationship to be. Once you have looked at what your current relationship is with money, so I said take an honest look at your current relationship, and you've identified that, I want you to kind of in your mind's eye think about what do you want your relationship to be when it comes to money. It is time to leave the past in the past and focus on the future. We are not home with mum and dad anymore. We are not little girls that need to be looked after. We are grown women in charge of our own money and have the ability to make our own financial decisions. So forgive the past, leave it there and move on. So what do you want your relationship with money to be? Maybe this is the next question you write down on that bit of paper or, the notebook that you've got or the journal you've got. What do I want my relationship with money to be? And let it come out. Let it come out of from your heart, mind and soul. Do you want your relationship to be fun yet responsible? How do you want it to be? So as an example, you can spend money on things you enjoy, but you can also build savings. I've spoken about this in multiple podcasts where you allow yourself, through our cash flow analysis framework that we have in a multitude of our programs at Wow Women, we talk about the bucket system, which is the bills bucket, the investment bucket, which is for your future self, and the fun bucket. And the fun bucket is just as important as all the other buckets. So it's really important to have money to enjoy, but also build for your future self. So when you identify this particular relationship, try to focus on what the relationship will look like in your life. Picture it in your mind's eye. Sit in a still, quiet space, close your eyes, and imagine what that might be like. How will your life, your behaviours, and your thoughts, how will they be different because of this new relationship? And see if you can actually feel it, right here, right where your heart is. How will this new relationship feel? Write that down and see if you can answer that question as well. My third idea is establish an intention or a goal for your relationship. So you've identified what it is currently, you've created an image in your mind's eye of what you want it to be and how that's going to feel for you. Next, we need to zero in on your new and improved relationship and create an intention or a goal. To do this, because this is going to create focus, right? So to do this, consider what types of outcomes you want for your new relationship. What is the outcome I want out of all of this? Do you want to increase savings? Yeah? Do you want to feel confident in making more money? Or do you want to pay off debt? Having an intention creates focus, and that intentional outcome will help you to keep focused, keep your eye on the prize, on building your new relationship. So what is it about this new relationship that you want? How do you want that to play out in your life? To provide for your future self, debt reduction, retirement savings, making more money. Create something, and that can be a moving goal. Obviously it's not a static thing. It's a moving target as you progress and as you achieve these goals throughout the journey, the money journey throughout your life. Money is a journey that will play out throughout your life, and the sooner you take responsibility for that and accept that as part of your everyday living, the happier and the more in control you'll feel. Idea number 4, start setting a foundation for this new relationship. So how do we start? What sort of foundations do we need to build? And this is when you start putting steps into practice, right? This is the action piece. When you think about the foundation of a house, and I often use this analogy when I talk about investments and investing in solid investments. So I talk about foundations of a house. It's the strongest part, right? What can be the strongest part of your new relationship? The easiest way to start building this foundation is through education. Of course, I'm going to say that, right? I was raised in a household where education was the fundamental key to freedom, to my father empowering each and every single one of us. Education was the fundamental piece. And so, of course, it's in my DNA to talk about education. But education, I do believe, is the fundamental piece that will change societies, not even just what I'm talking about here. But obviously, building this foundation is through education, understanding how money works and how to use money. See, I didn't have any of these skills. I had to build these foundations over the years. Money is a skill not taught. You've heard me say this over and over again. And understanding how money works, understanding how to use it, and understanding the financial structures that can help with improving your relationship with money is key here. The 5th idea I have is, what I want to share with you, is remember to give yourself grace. Not a lot of people share this or allow this, but it's important to remember that you've had this negative relationship for years. And I'm assuming if your relationship was negative, it may not be. You may be one of the really fortunate people that have a positive relationship and you can build on that. But if you've had a negative relationship with money, remember it's been around for a while and things aren't going to change like that. okay? It's okay if you don't change things overnight. And we're all grown girls. We know things don't happen overnight. It takes courage. It takes commitment. It takes resilience, and it takes self-belief in knowing that I want growth for myself. I want change for myself. I'm going to stick this out. So it's okay if you don't change overnight. So forgive yourself for the past money mistakes. We've all been there, all done that. That's life. That nobody comes through life unscathed without making some sort of blunders along the way. But keep trying until you get it right. Ain't that the truth about anything in life? When you fall back into old bad habits, it's okay. Take note, ask yourself how you're going, and to do better next time. Let me share an analogy there with, you want to eat better. You want physical well-being, looking after your nutrition and that. And let's say you fell off the wagon over the weekend and, you had a bit too much pasta and a couple of extra wines and maybe you had that piece of cheesecake. That's not to say that you're going to fall off the wagon and you sort of say to yourself, oh, well, that's done. I'm just going to keep doing that. You say, okay, well, that was a cheat day. Let's get back on track. And it's the same thing with your money and your relationship with money. Allow yourself the grace. Allow yourself to make blunders along the way. It's a lifelong journey. And like any journey, there's ups and downs. And give yourself grace and forgive yourself for all of that. It's okay. I'm telling you, it's okay. And idea 6, the final idea here, is to educate yourself. Build your financial knowledge. This is the key to making confident financial decisions. This is what I talk about all the time. Being empowered to make financial decisions that are coming from a place of confidence that allows you to sit at the table and ask the right questions and to feel confident enough to be in that space, to be able to make the decisions and talk about the concepts. That is empowering. So financial decisions that serve you. Remember, I always say this, financial decisions that serve you and don't hinder you. But it all comes with having the knowledge that can guide you to make better decisions with your money. And learning the rules of money, it can help you create a plan for your future and help you to feel good about yourself and your money. Money comes in one hand, goes out the other. You want to make sure that the in-between is organised so that one day when you want to slow down and live a life of choice, that you've made the right decisions that allow you to live that life of choice, that gives you that freedom to do so. And I love this quote. I've seen this multitude of times. If you think financial education is expensive, try ignorance. Pretty good quote, right? I love that quote because, we do get from time to time people saying, oh, seeing a financial advisor, that's really costly. Oh, doing a program, that's really costly. So if you think that is expensive, try ignorance and see what happens. I've seen it a multitude of times. If this is something you're currently struggling with, then make sure to book a call with one of our strategists. Simply go to wowwomen.com.au and click on the link to our programs. Best of all, this is free. The strategy call is free with one of my team members. And if you found today's episode helpful, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until next time, take control of your wealth and your future.